Hey, this is Matt once again on a dark and stormy morning. This is a paid request for Gunnell. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of video or topic or reaction or commentary or review or what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box under the video. And I'm talking about Stir of Echoes from 1999. Now, this is a film I saw back in the day on VHS. I always enjoyed it, because that was the same year where you had The Sixth Sense. Sixth Sense, in all fairness, is it a bad movie? No. Bruce Willis and Haley Joel Osment do a good job acting. The twist did get me when I first saw it, but to be honest, for me, it does not have a lot of rewatchability. I mean, with M. Night, really the only film I truly enjoy of his is Unbreakable, and to a lesser extent Signs, and then that's it. If I had to say a third best, yeah, I would go Sixth Sense, because it's better than anything M. Night has done after Signs. But the other film, Ghost Story, Stir of Echoes, I always enjoyed more over Sixth Sense. I wish Stir of Echoes had even a modicum of success that Bruce Willis film had, because I like the story more. I like the cast of characters more. It has more of a blue-collar feel with the characters. Kevin Bacon, I think, gives one of his best performances as this guy who's got a wife and a kid, and he means well, and he's kind of stuck in his life working telephone lines, and you can tell he wants a bit more out of life. He wanted even to be part of this band, but his wife gets pregnant, and you tell he is happy about it, but at the same time, and that's one thing about the script, I thought the pregnancy thing would be a bit more involved in the story, but it's not. It's like once that's said, it's never brought up again that she's pregnant and expecting child. So yeah, I thought that was just going to lead to something more. But I guess it was just to even more so how it's not that he's stuck, but just, he even goes, nah, it's okay, that was a stupid thing anyway. And I thought the actors who played the wife did a good job. Because she's not being bitchy. She can understand his disappointment, but at the same time still sees that he's happy about, they're going to be a second child. But that you tell she wants to support her husband. And I see a real love between Kevin Bacon's character and the wife character. I thought the wife was very likable. And you see the hardship this later events takes a toll on her. The little boy, I thought, did a good job. He's a boy that does see ghosts, by Haley Joel Osment, but he's so used to it that he's kind of happy about it. And he's almost like a mentor to his own dad. When the dad, Kevin Bacon, starts seeing these things, because at one night at a party, an actress, Illeana Douglas, she hypnotizes him. And Kevin Bacon's like, yeah, do me. Come on, what's the worst that could happen? And then that kind of opens the door to his perception, and thus able to see this ghost. But apparently the child, his kid, has been seeing that for a while. He even goes up to him and goes, don't be afraid of it, Daddy. And it's a kid that never cries, never... Even when the dad gets mad, the kid kind of takes a step back. He says, we should talk about this, Daddy. We should talk about this because it scares Mommy. And it's like, wow, that performance showcases, again, a kid that, even for so young, has been witness to apparently, like, so many ghosts and other such that he's, like, more of a grown-up than his own dad, which I thought was interesting. And then pretty much Kevin Bacon keeps seeing this ghost, which is played by Jennifer Morrison, which I did not watch it again. I did not realize it was her. I think because when I first saw this, She would later be in that sequel to Urban Legends Final Cut. She was the star of that film. But remember her mostly from the TV show House. I think and I think I haven't seen this in a long time. And by then I had seen the TV show House, MD, which I really enjoy. The last season was but I still enjoy the show. And she was one of the main doctors that worked with Hugh Laurie's character of House. So, oh wow, she plays the ghost in this. And unlike Gothica, which that's a review that'll be uploaded around the same time, it's a ghost that wants help, but isn't trying to murder 15 times the main character. Like, the ghost of Gothica wants Halle Berry's help, but almost gets her in a car accident, scares her when she's underwater so she could have drowned, doesn't help her when she's in another car and there's no brakes on it, slams her up back and forth against the wall, almost ready to break her neck. I'm like, so do you want her help, but you're trying to kill her like 15 times? The ghost in Gothica is a moron. This ghost is a lot smarter, where she will get mad if she doesn't get what she wants, but she wants the truth to unfold. You can even say the ghost kind of helps him, because there's a point in the film where his son gets taken, and he starts getting these flashes, which is an interesting scene, especially flashes of red, in order to help find his own son. And then, the truth out. I'll talk about at the end in the big spoiler section. But I thought it was well directed by David Koepp. He did a couple other films. He had done The Trigger Effect, which I do like. I do think the finale's like, I wish it could have done more with the finale, or I don't know how to explain without getting more into that film. But that's an interesting film. Kyle MacLachlan, Dermot Mulroney. It's about if a city lost power and then no one knows what the hell's happening, and how communication can break down quicker than you think. I do think there's a bit more you could have done into that. Some people ask me, what's a movie that I would like to see remade? The Trigger Effect is a film that I liked, but if you reworked it, I think it could be even better. Secret Window, the guy did. I didn't like Secret Window. Johnny Depp gave a good performance, but that's a movie that I guessed the ending 20 minutes in. I'm sitting there going, I hope this movie's more than what I think it is. And it wasn't, and I was like, oh god, this was predictable. Just way too predictable for me. And the director also did Premium Rush, very underrated film. That's with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's a bicycle messenger, and he does this very fast-paced scenes. It makes me want to rewatch Premium Rush again. It's been a while since I've seen it, but that's a very underrated film. This is a bicycle messenger in the city. You get these really intense sequences, and there's bad guys that become part of the plot, and I don't want to get into much of that, because this is not a review of Premium Rush, it's a review of this, but that's a really good one. So, but sadly that film bombed, and the guy really hasn't directed much since, which is too bad, because Stir of Echoes didn't do much, so he didn't get to direct for a while. I think sadly Secret Window made more money than this or Premium Rush, but that's because you have Johnny Depp and Stephen King. It was a big box office hit, but I think it made a little bit compared to others. Anyway, like Kevin Bacon, the film takes place, what was it, in Chicago. And so Kevin Bacon has the accent, but it's not ridiculous, it's not silly, it's not over the top, it felt natural. And he's like, hey, how's it going, And he speaks with his buddies like Kevin Dunn. Kevin Dunn, he was the dad in Transformers, Shia's dad. He was also one of the military guys in Godzilla, the 1998 film, working with Matthew Broderick in them. Kevin Dunn's a good actor, and him and Tim Bacon and them friends, they have some nice back and forth with each other. Like a natural rapport, just people in the neighborhood getting together. And then this obsession where, like, at one point he has to dig. He doesn't know where he needs to dig, but he has to dig, and just completely obsessed, and it's breaking the marriage apart. And he's like, "Well, what do you want, huh? Dude, this is the most, like, important thing I've ever done in my life." And he's like breaking down as he's trying to say this. And then wife's like, "What? You know, when you say that, why it makes me feel that this is the most important thing you've done? You know, I don't think our life has sucked." But it works well in the scheme of things, like the family drama as well as this ghost story. The finale I thought faltered a little bit, but like I said, there's some good direction, like when there's a few times he's hypnotized under Illeana Douglas's character, and she wants him to visualize a movie theater. And she's okay, visualize a theater. Now visualize an old theater. In the same shot, the theater will change from a newish movie theater, boom, to an old theater, and then it'll like get bigger. And it'll turn from like red to black walls. And the way that's done visually is very interesting. And that there's these words on the screen, but you can't see them because they're too blurry at this point. I thought that was an interesting visual representation of a vision. I mean, is it scary? No. You know, there's one or two cheap jump scares. I'm like, eh. But I liked the story. I liked the characters. I especially liked Kevin Bacon's lead performance. And even though I said the finale falters a bit, it's not trying to go for this twist. And like The Sixth Sense to me, I don't think the film would have made as much money without the twist. And that's the thing, when you take the twist out, I mean, it's not a bad movie, but it's like, okay, once you know the twist, for me, it's not as interesting of a movie. Maybe it is for other people. To this, it doesn't have to hone in on a twist to make it justified as a movie. To get more into spoilers starting now, at the finale you find out, granted by some luck, I thought there's a bit more that could have been done with this, where the ghost maybe guided him more or gave him more messages to get this one specific point. Because Kevin Bacon is digging deep, and then he does this, and he accidentally hits this wall with a block that falls, and there's the mummified remains of this Jennifer Morris's character. I'm like, that's very convenient. Again, shut up, stomach. Anytime I do a review, my stomach wants to co-host. I don't need a co-host. Maybe my stomach is murmuring because of, yeah, that was really, you know. He didn't like that it was so convenient as well. Because the axe, boom. I'm like, that seems a bit too lucky, too convenient for me. With all the places, like, he just accidentally hits this. Like, maybe it could have been the ghost has a message here, or he makes him see something. Or like the red flashes, let him see other points of red. Like, he looks around, he sees one red brick, and he shakes his head, and it's not red anymore. And then he's looking at it, and it's loose. And then, like that type of thing, like the ghost leading him a bit more in certain directions. I mean, if it's been doing it so far, again, that's the case where, again, if there was, again, some kind of weird, creepy image or vision that led him to that brick that then fell, I would have liked that more. Same with super spoilers for those who haven't seen it. You find out that, oh, that was another good scene where he has a dream of this kid killing himself. And Kevin Bacon's performance, no, no, no! And then he wakes up, and he finds certain similar things, including like a shoe under his bed. He's like, don't let it be under there. And it is. And when he walks out, he heads towards where this kid might have shot himself. He hears a gunshot. He's desperately breaking in, and you see the anxiety and fear in Kevin Bacon's face. Like you said, one of his best performances. Very intense. Easily a guy that can draw you through the story of this film. But that the kid who shot himself was Kevin Dunn's kid. And you come to find out the kid shot himself. I don't know if he died. They don't say that he died, but that he's just in the hospital. But you find out that kid and this other kid was messing with Jennifer Morrison. Then they tried to rape her. Then they accidentally kill her, and then they hid her remains. And the fathers, Kevin Dunn and this other guy, they knew about it. But Kevin Dunn feels guilty while the other guy doesn't. And this one I thought was really weird. Because Kevin Bacon shows Kevin Dunn, and then Kevin Dunn has a gun, and then he tells Bacon to leave. And when Bacon leaves, then he hears a gunshot, making the audience assume Kevin Dunn shot himself. But then, like, the other kid and his father come, they try to kill Kevin Bacon, then they try to kill Kevin Bacon's wife, and they're ready to get killed, and then Kevin Dunn comes in, pop, 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 pop. I'm sitting there going, why did we hear a gunshot down below? Did he try to kill himself, and then he changed his mind, but then he stayed there for like 10 fucking minutes? And he must have heard all the commotion upstairs, and he didn't come up sooner? The whole thing was a bit kind of weird to me. Like, okay, the only reason we heard a gunshot was because to fool the audience. I don't know if that really works the best in the story. And then again, okay, maybe he tried to kill himself. He's like, nah, I'm not going to do it. But then, why does he stay there? And he would obviously hear all this ruckus when Kevin Bacon's getting beaten up. He doesn't try to help immediately then. And then the wife comes in the house, and then she's getting beaten up, and then Kevin Dunn comes up. I'm like, again, that was pretty convenient. What if Kevin Dunn had shot himself? Then Kevin Bacon and his wife would be dead. I just thought, I don't know, I just would have preferred Kevin Bacon to be more proactive in that. Or even the ghost. Like, the ghost be proactive. Like, the ghost do something. Like, the ghost, I don't know, push the gun away, or push the gun out of the guy's hands, and Kevin Bacon gets it in self-defense, or, you know, Kevin Bacon's beating the shit out of the kid, and the dad has the gun, and the ghost scares the guy, and gives time for Kevin Bacon to fucking beat the shit out of him, or shoot him in the leg, or get the gun, and, you know, they're going back and forth, and maybe that's when the ghost scares him, and it loosens, and Kevin Bacon, or something like that. I guess I would prefer more idea of Kevin Bacon, the wife, being proactive in that sense, instead of, oh, Kevin Dunn's not dead, really. It's like, I get it, they kind of set that up earlier in that dream Kevin Bacon had. He saw Kevin Dunn and say a line, then he disappears. Again, that's part of the dream. That comes in this scene. I get that, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I didn't hate it. I don't think it's awful. I just think it's just not what I prefer. But it's not bad. I mean, it doesn't end on a stupid thing. It doesn't end on a, well, not really on a sequel bait note. Although there was a sequel. But it's a pretty good film. It's a pretty good flick. You know, the terrorists do make it out. They decide to move. But you get the idea that the little kid, he can still see the ghosts. Some people felt that there's a police officer character that he was forced in. You didn't need it. I thought it was fine because it was a way for the mom to understand more what was going on. Yes, there's a bit of exposition, but I didn't mind the actor. I swear I've seen the actor before he played the cop. I don't know if he was one of the. I don't know if he was one of the bad guys on Under Siege 2, or there's somewhere I've seen him in. But I thought he did a decent enough job, and he was natural. Like I said, the acting was solid. The movie wasn't boring at all. It kept at a good pace. Um, it wasn't as creepy as I think it could have been. I think there's a few more creepy moments that could have been churned out of the story. Maybe a bit more of those visions with Kevin Bacon. Yeah, there's a couple of them. There's one, like, he's trying to touch the ghost and everything's so cold. He's, like, frozen. He can't breathe. I just think there's a few more you could have squeezed out of the story. Like I said, the ending, there's a few things that would have changed. But overall, I think it's a fairly solid ghost story. It really did not get its just due when it came out. I mean, even when there was a bit where they talked about Kevin Bacon's career, was it, I don't know if it was GQ or, I forget what it was. It was on YouTube, and like they talked to him about Tremors and even Hollow Man, and they didn't bring up Stir of Echoes, which is and he worked with the director again. I forget what the film's called. It came out a few years ago, the film, but he worked with the director again, and again, to me, this is easily in top 5 best Kevin Bacon performances. My favorite will always be Tremors, because I love that character and the way he works with Fred Ward, but this is up there. This is definitely for top 3 performances from him. And there was a sequel, direct-to-video, Stir of Echoes Homecoming, with Rob Lowe, that I think has halfway connection. I don't know if it's like the kid is growing up and there's something, he's a supporting role. I don't remember. I don't know. It's a fucking direct-to-video sequel. Most times they suck. But with the way direct-to-video films are, I'm surprised there wasn't one on. Well, there's a lot of movies I'm surprised. I mean, you have 5 Scorpion King films. Who knows what the hell else they could do? They do direct-to-video. I mean, they did a direct-to-video sequel on the House on Haunted Hill, the remake, called Return to House on Haunted Hill. There's a lot of films you pick, you go, wow, they did. Yeah, they did. I'm surprised they didn't do one on The Sixth Sense. The Sixer Sense. The 69 cents. 69 cents? That's how much the budget was. Anyway, Stir of Echoes, very solid film. Quite enjoyed it. If you like Kevin Bacon, if you like ghost stories, I definitely think it's worth a watch. So, with that said, thanks for watching. We will see you guys later. Bye-bye.